So, what is a surety bond for a vehicle title, and how does it help you get a title for a vehicle when you're missing information? So, in most states in the country, you can actually use the bonded title process to get an ownership document for your vehicle when you're missing the prior title. And we're going to look at an example from the state of California, although most states are the same, and we'll talk about other states a little later in the broadcast. So this is directly from the registration procedures manual for motor vehicle in California, and it talks about a vehicle ownership surety bond. When you have a vehicle with no title, a bond must be submitted when the required evidence of ownership is not available, meaning that there's no title. And depending on the value of the vehicle, you may have to do different things. It's available when the evidence of ownership is unobtainable and a bond is required, including a vehicle or vessel from another state. And the surety bond document looks like this. This is an official motor vehicle ownership surety bond, and the applicant for the title will put their name here, and the surety company, the surety issuer, puts their name here. That is the underwriting firm that issues the surety bond. And then they talk about their licensing and what state they're organized from, and they are bonding the vehicle for a certain amount, and the dollar amount goes here. And they reference the provisions of the code, the bond in the sum of this much money, which is the fair market value of the vehicle. And it talks about the terms and conditions of the bond, and then the surety company signs it, and the vehicle owner will also sign this in the application. And it gives you the instructions for completing the bond. The owner is the person who owns the corporation. The principal address is where legal documents can be served. The surety name is the name filed with the certificate of the Department of Insurance in California, and then what state they're incorporated in. The reason why this is important is if there are any claims against the vehicle, the Department of Motor Vehicles needs to know where to serve the notice that there's a claim against the vehicle. So a bonded title for a motor vehicle is a very valuable method for you to get a title for a vehicle when you're missing ownership documents. And almost all of the 50 states accept a bonded title. There's a few that don't, but there's a couple states where you can actually get a bonded title as an out-of-state resident. For example, if you live in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania does not do bonded titles. But if you wanted to get a bonded title, there's a couple of states where you can apply as a non-resident to get a title from that state, get a surety bond, and get proper ownership documents for your vehicle if you don't have the prior title, or if you lost the title before you transferred it. So a bonded title method is extremely valuable. It works for all years. You know, the Vermont loophole only works if the vehicle is 15 years old. You can do a bonded title on any year vehicle. So it doesn't have any exceptions for a vehicle year eligibility. Just make sure your vehicle is not stolen, make sure it has no liens, and make sure it's not a salvage, and consider a bonded title as a really good method to get a title for a vehicle when you're missing the last title.